evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's rabbit hole. I have Canuck with me, better known as New Brunswick, Canada guy. Tonight, we're going to talk about something pretty interesting. What has happened as a result of the 8.8 in Kamchatka? There's a 400-mile rip up in Kamchatka that has happened. Rip meaning it's not one long crack, it's a series of quakes 400 miles long along from Kamchatka all the way into the Urals. And as a result, the Okhotsk plate, which is where part of Kamchatka there is, had slid over North American plate or the Pacific plate. And as a result of that, there are many things happening around the Pacific plate right now that we're keyed in on, just like what we told you about Kamchatka and the historical record of Kamchatka, the results around the world. We're starting to see it now happen. So stay tuned. This is what we're going to talk about. Good evening, Canuck. How are you, bud?
Pretty good.
Right
It's
on.
hot here, and we're starting to get wildfires. So
yeah, wildfires. You know, California's got a huge one, man. They're calling it now a mega fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Well, the Gifford one is gigantic too, but now the Canyon one is pretty big too.
Yeah, I heard about the Canyon fire. I don't know exactly where they're at, but I just
The
have
Canyon
not
fire
looked at them.
started on Piru Fault right next to Piru Lake.
Yeah, Piru. I know where Piru is.
And it's burning towards Hasley Canyon, which is a fault. And if it keeps
Uh-huh.
burning that same direction, it's going toward Castaic Lake and San Gabriel Fault, where we had fires back in January and February. By Castaic Lake burning up away from the lake, so away from San Gabriel Fault.
Okay, San Gabriel. Okay.
Yeah, so where this new one is a little bit below that.
So why don't I show people the area we're talking about? Let me go to Google Earth. No, cancel. Almost lost you. Google Earth. And then share this tab instead. And we'll go to the volcanoes. And then open this up in the stream. All right. So, whoa. My mouse is really lit up right now, so I apologize. All right. So this is a local area here. And there's also, we have another link. It's not GIA, but it's what the hell is it? It's California, right? Faults in California. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to look up.
Click it on.
Yeah. Stop that. Go to here. Faults, California. For some reason, it's a little bit slow. Hey, the site's gone. I don't know.
USGS site?
No. The Map Conservation California.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No. So we're going to stay with, because all the fault systems that we learn are gone. So you're saying San Gabriel Mountains. That's what burned here not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Right up in here. And they're talking like, am I right? 10,000 acres?
You'd probably have to do it through firms now, probably.
Okay, let me check out.
You just won't have the faults marked on there, but
right. I think I've got firms
because it would show where the current fires are.
Right.
I never looked on it today to see.
Well, there's that link, but
I know the Gifford fire has been going for quite a few days, so it's even bigger. Which is like off
Here we go.
east of Lompoc, I think. So there is big fires ongoing right now. You're just not hearing too much
Right.
about
Okay, the Canyon Fire is over north of Simi Valley.
Yeah.
The Gifford Fire. Whoa, dude, the Gifford Fire.
It's gigantic.
Guess where that happened?
Yeah.
1952 happened right there. Or what was it? The earlier one, the 1857, was it? That happened right here.
Yeah.
Not at Tascadero, but Coalinga. So this is interesting that this fire is right here. Wow.
Because it's been burning a while now.
Yeah, a better part of a week. The Corazozo Plain, where Corazozo, you hear this all the time. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, wow. I didn't know that.
Because it started way down there at the bottom. It's what burn all the way
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
moving north. Yeah. Well, that's the direction that fault goes too. The White Wolf Fault, the Garlock moves that direction. The White Wolf Fault moves that direction because that's the Pacific side of where the San Andreas goes right up through the middle here. So this is on the Pacific side. All these are those behind Santa Maria, Arroyo Canyon, San Luis Obispo. This is up by Sister and Lompoc. Wow. I was thinking that Lompoc area would be dangerous, but I didn't know the fire was there. For some reason, I thought it was out in the national or the Angeles National Forest. The gold fire's out there, but that's pretty much contained.
Yeah, they've been focusing a lot of attention on the canyon fire.
Right. The canyon fire is like Lake Piru. Yeah, Lake Piru is right here. And then up here is Castaic or pyramids there. And Castaic, that's elderberry. Castaic is right in this region too. Fraser Park. That's the we talked about Cajon Pass. This is Tejon Pass.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's two ways out of Los Angeles, greater Los Angeles area through the mountains. Cajon is in the San Bernardino Mountains, and this is in the Los Angeles Mountains. And it's north of Simi Valley, where the 1971 quake happened. Here's Castaic. It's right down here. Castaic right here. So this canyon fire is between Piru and Castaic. It's burning toward the 5. It looks like.
My sister said there's a fire in Canterbury, which is a little bit below. It's half an hour drive down from where we are right now.
All right, let me look at that.
I don't know if it'd be on
Firms
yet or not.
All right, let's check it out.
There's 7 in my province right now, though. If one just started, so it'd be 8. It's probably not on there yet.
Yeah, I can go to the
the
global
big one
fire map.
Right now is up there by Miramichi.
Yeah, well, you're talking up in way north here. Oh, I see one. Where's this one here? There's a pretty good fire there.
Yeah, it's right by the city of Miramichi, which is down here where the big bay is, where the Miramichi River comes in.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a big fire up here. Then there's another one down low. But that's right next to the... Oh, man. A lot of oil right there, boy.
Yeah.
That's probably not a fire. Yeah, Firms is not showing it right now. There's a better Firms that a dude gave me, and let me see if I can grab that real quick.
Yeah, my sister's down there saying where the fire is and all that. Canterbury, Eel River Lake. It's a camping area where they have camps and stuff. So I imagine somebody's left a campfire going or something. Most likely.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have it on this machine. So as I spun over to the other machine, because Joe Select Live is on right now still, but we're doing the rabbit hole over here now. Let me see if I have it on down here. Oh, it's a red one. That's right. Might have had it on another machine. Yeah,
Well,
I don't have it anymore. It's a better one than or it's an updated version of the firms. So I can't even grab that one. But yeah, I'm showing 3 fires, 4 fires, but they're not real fires. On firms for you on the global firms.
yeah.
And
Well, there's 8 fires now in my province, but this one,
yeah, I mean, if you count,
one is not showing them all because it's probably behind.
Right.
There's big ones in Newfoundland too.
Yeah, Newfoundland's got a huge one. Out on the what's that, Prince Edward Island or whatever?
Yeah.
Or Newfoundland, whatever that is. Yeah, there's a big fire out there. Your fire is north east of you toward the bay.
Yeah. Now there's a new one down just below me here, about half an hour drive, but it's not on there yet.
No. You're not seeing it either, yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
About half an hour down the highway, for the Trans-Canada Highway from where I am.
Okay. All right. So we got a couple of fires, man.
Yeah, because they just banned everybody going in the woods here. Can't go hiking, can't.
Yeah, as you can see up here, that primarily this is the fire area. This stuff burns because a lot of it's super dry. It's worn out. Also, as the ice recedes, the ground resurges, rises back up, and the ground begins to thaw, and it exposes itself to the possibility of fire. A lot of gases are coming out of these little lakes as well, global warming gases. And to say that mankind is changing everything, I got to argue with that. But I think Canada and places like that, volcanoes are polluting the air way more than mankind is. But we can get into that kind of argument at a later date.
The problem is Canada only has 150 water bombers, and we should have 1,500 or 2,500.
Well, yeah, because we lease them down here in California.
Well, we sold all our old ones to Europe, so now we have new ones, but have hardly any.
Yeah, the Greeks and the French and the Italians were buying a bunch of them. I think even the Turks, were buying all those things, weren't they?
Yeah, and so when all these fires started going crazy in 2023, because I was reading all the stuff on that just the last little while to figure out how many water bombers we actually have, and it's only like 150, so that's no good.
And it doesn't help you much, does it?
We probably need 1,500 or 2,500.
I know California needs that. Look what's interesting too, just by looking at the map. You got a bunch in Arizona, a bunch of fires here in Arizona. Up in Utah, a bunch of fires leading up into the park. Also a lot in Colorado. Colorado looks like Colorado Springs there. And then south of it, along where the Little Colorado begins. Um, Interesting um, bend. Well, of course, it's where the trees are, right? It's not out in the desert. Um, but yeah, very, very, very interesting. Also, you can see what's going on here, where all the Texas quakes are happening, the Russell Hills, and then up here by what is it? Um, Medford or not Medford? That's up in the other area. Um, that's somebody went out the door. It's my boy. Yep, the doorbell. Got to make sure mom's not going out the door. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's been a problem lately. Oh, my daughter. I mean, as long as it's my daughter, I don't care. She just would got the mail. That's all. All right. There's use for cameras yet, eh? Interesting that there's a series of fires here, also up in the Mongolian Rim, up in northern Arizona, then southern Utah, moving on up. Uh, Reason that is interesting is because those are the fault zones, those are the volcanic areas. Uh, Also, look at this. Um, Almost a track moving right into Reno.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of interesting. Also, the burn mark of Yellowstone or the Snake River Plain all the way up, and then there's a few up in Washington and one little something up there. Now, all of these don't have to be fires. Sometimes there are heat developed by dust going up in the air that's been heated up by the sun, in which tractors have dug the ground in a mine area or in a construction site. So that happens. And so um, I wouldn't say that it's only due to fires. Um, Also in California, there's a lot of like this one right out here. I zoom in. What are those things? Yeah, those are solar panels. So big solar panel farms are going to create a lot of heat. You can see, these are the kind of solar panels and arrays that do burn up trash and the like. And much like what you saw in the movie 007, those are out there in the Mojave Desert. And then you can zoom in here and you'll see there's a mine right there. It's creating heat, right? And then if you look over here, here's another mine, right? That's creating heat. These are not fires. These are just like what I said. These are work zones. Even in bigger cities, you can see the same kind of thing happening. These are another mine. They're in looks like oh maybe L.A. County, might be San Bernardino County, but it's real close. Um, I, it's off the 210 and the 60, I believe. So yeah, but that I think that might be LA. Here's the 60 down here that kind of goes up. So the 210 up here. So what is this? 605. So the other Irwindale area. So uh, that's where they were going to put the stadium, and then guess what? Yeah, Al Davis POS. You know. But anyway, so again, you've seen these red dots. With experience, you learn to drill down and go, okay, that's not a fire. These definitely are fires. You can see how these are hot spots moved out away from the area, right? So going back to the U.S.-Canada fire map, zooming down again, and it'll tell us the Gifford fire here. Really, really, really hot. These are, this side here has got some more trees than this side, but you can see that's where the intensity is. Also, what's interesting, what now? Sister. Oh, it's sister columnist. Yeah. Oh, she sent a picture of her. Nice pic. Oh crap. That ain't my problem. If she walks out, she walks out. They got other people here now. I can hear the garage opening up. Yeah. But yeah, interesting to say the least on the fires. Fires up in the north in Washington, you can see my allergies are. Now it's every word I said is being put on her. Yeah. Now I guess they're just throwing stuff away. Is there anywhere you want to start? Obviously, we can talk about these fires, Saskatchewan and Manitoba. I found it interesting that the fires are happening up there, especially when it's time that Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba and parts of British Columbia want to leave Canada, and it will take some 15 months to leave Canada. And a vote will be put forth. It's like, if your oil burns up, which Alberta, puts out a lot of oil, if those sites get all burned up, they're going to need the rest of Canada to help out, right?
Yeah. Well, what's primarily happening now, where they are in Saskatchewan, especially Manitoba, it's driving all the First Nation Indigenous peoples all out, and they've all had to evacuate to the cities. Right. So it's mainly affecting them right now.
Yeah, really, 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 really bad fires up there.
Yeah, like where it is in Saskatchewan, it's just a bit above like where Canadian Prepper has his homestead, because he's right on the edge of the boreal forest, and where the prairie grassland ends. So he's kind of in between. So like central Saskatchewan, so he's getting like a lot of smoke where he is.
Is he up by Clam Lake or L'Orange?
I don't know exactly where it is because he doesn't say, but
he
just says central Saskatchewan on the edge of the boreal forest. So he gets a lot of smoke where he is, like when the wind blows a certain way.
Okay, yeah, probably backlash at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if we looked at not LASCO, but COD. See what COD has to say. Okay, it's sharing this. Cool. It looks like a lot of weather up there, tell you the truth.
Yeah, they're getting storms and rain there now.
Yeah. So if I went dirty, yeah, you can see Saskatchewan and Manitoba are getting lots of rain in the southern portion, but in the northern portion, not so much. But Alberta's got tons of rain, and that just creates more fires. Now that I see some monsoonal moisture down in southern Arizona, I'm going, hey, maybe, oh, I don't know what it is, man. But anyway.
And there is a disturbance off the east coast there, but it's following the path of Dexter up and out.
Yeah, that tropical depression is going outward. Let me see what
but there's supposed to be more coming around another week. So 20th in that range, supposedly. And they don't know where it's going to go yet, whether it's going to go at Florida or curve up the East Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's on long range things, but they can't decide where.
Hurricane Center here. Here we go. Hurricane. Yeah, Henrietta. Henrietta is just northeast of Hawaii. 40-mile-an-hour winds. That is not a big damn deal. Ivo, however, has got 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it's headed 6 knots west. So it's going west and west northwest. So both of these are between Hawaii and the mainland. There's a disturbance out here, a 60% chance of turning into something in 7 days, 20% in 7 days on this one. So this one's just off the coast of Africa, moving into this area. That'll probably be the first chance that anything's going on. This one's going to go off into the north. So Central Pacific, just Henriette, and that's not going to bother it, but give storm waves. Shoot out, man! Stop it. But yeah, so those are the storms. So we got fires and storms brewing in both oceans right now. How about looking at the tremor map? Let's look at the tremor map. Oh, cancel. God bless America. Almost did it.
The last time I looked at it yesterday, I think it's all under Seattle, Puget Sound.
Yeah. And then looking at the tremor map here. For
the most part.
No tremors reported. They took a break.
Oh, it's the weekend. So.
Yeah. They took a break.
So you have to look at Fridays.
Yeah. And we looked at Fridays already. And look at that. Yeah. Right in the Olympia area. It is migrating north. This thing's migrated, oh my gosh, all the way up or through Oregon and up into Washington. These vibrations along the entire edge of the JDF that's diving down below North America. There's a plate out here, and as it's diving down below, it's not like when it's two plates come together, one's like upright and the other one's this one is kind of shallow, whereas in parts of California and lower Oregon, although the mountains rise up, it dips down more further in that subduction area. So in that north, these are not so concerning as they are intriguing that there's so many happening. Like they don't report until after 6 Pacific time, but they obviously didn't work yes today. This is Saturday, but so that's interesting. Do you have any thoughts to that there, Canuck? What is your take on those things?
Well, it's just doing what it's supposed to do.
Right. I read, as we're talking about the Pacific Northwest, we're talking about the Cascade Range. I did see an article that talked about how Newberry volcano has risen 2 inches. And that's shocking people, scientists.
Oh. So they must have noted it on the GPS things or something.
Yeah, they took a look at it and they said, well, it's moving a hell of a lot faster than we thought. Now, does that mean Newberry is going to explode? No. There's not very many earthquakes on Newberry, so I'm not too surprised by it. And I have to go to the previous day because we're right in the middle of this. You can see a couple earthquakes it felt. Also, some faraway quakes that I'm assuming were Kamchatka all the way out there.
Yeah, and supposedly there's a weird signal showing up on all the Cascadia volcanoes ever since the Kamchatka quake happened.
Yeah.
And they turned a bunch of the seismos down, but now they all put them back to normal again. So.
Okay. Looking at Mount Rainier now. We're going to go look Observation Rock, which
I
is
guess
in
the
Illinois.
seismologists have been talking about it.
That same signal right there at the beginning every day. Newberry and Rainier has the same signal. So there must have been an earthquake that registered here. These kind of weird signals that are happening right in between here and here. This is an earthquake that lasted a long time. These falling rocks moving not the snow but the ice.
Well, and there's been 2 6s today, so I imagine they'd show up on there. So the Guatemala.
Yeah.
There's another 6.
I'm looking at the day before. So this. Okay. Yeah.
You'd have to match the timestamp.
Correct. Yeah, and you know what? Let's go ahead and look at what's going on in the world today. You can see 1 day, 2.5. Whoa, sorry about that. A series of quakes along the coast and along the trench. Hey, that's interesting, dude. You see that?
Yeah, and the 6 today is off the trench. The 6.4, I think it was, or whatever it was, 6.4, I think. It's beyond the trench. Past the trench.
Hey, what do you mean past the trench?
Beyond it. Like if you find the one that was from today, the last, whatever it was, 24
hours. There were, 6.0. Several.
Yeah.
That's on the Pacific Ocean. So the weight of the Okhotsk plate, if it's not North America, it looks like North America to me. We'll take it out. We'll look at it.
Well, they say it's North America now.
Yeah. We'll take a look at it like this. So here's the subduction zone right here. So a quake on this side would be on the Pacific plate. It's running at 92 millimeters a year. Pretty fast.
Yeah.
And it's hitting a wall and going underneath it. Uplifting Kamchatka out of the ground. And Kamchatka has lifted, what, 2 meters, right?
Yeah. Well, if you think about what's happened since 2011, it kind of made sense because you had 9 down at the bottom of the Okhotsk plate, 2011. Now you've had the 8.8 up at the top at Kamchatka, and then you had Sand Point going off before, and in 20 and 21, and you had all the crazy stuff happening in North America 2019 to now, right? So makes sense because the whole Pacific plate is all moving.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if we're having a lot of activity here, just inside this red line all the way around is the Pacific plate. And then we have all the way down here, then up through New Zealand and up around Samoa, through Vanuatu, the Santa Cruz Islands, PNG, and then it splits off here. Parts of it go this way on this side of this is its own separate plate. That's the Philippine plate. So this here is the Mariana Trench, right, which is the deepest in the world. And it's going under that too. So that's kind of interesting.
So Pacific Plate is going underneath Philippine Sea Plate.
Yeah, going underneath the Philippine plate. Also the Japan plate, or not plate, but underneath Japan, lifting Japan up, lifting the Kuril Islands up, and creating islands themselves. There's a ton of volcanoes up there, and they're still. God bless it. This mouse is just really, really busy. I'm zooming out there for you. Yeah, but you can. It's interesting to see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quakes on the Pacific Ocean side, and there's mouse button multiple. Okay, mouse pointer speed.
Kind of looks like there's seamounts or something there. Maybe it's caught up as it goes underneath. You see, it looks like there's some sort of, like right out there beyond where the quake that happened today is. It looks like seamounts or something, but I don't know what they are. Like on the map there.
Yeah. Come on.
I imagine there's some names on them if you have the right thing to find it.
There's a setting here. Say that again, bud.
Well, it looks like when you were zoomed in there a bit, you could pick out that it looks like there's seamounts right off there where that quake happened.
Yeah. Well, I can open up Google Earth. Here we go.
So it's almost like if it's slipping under there, it's like stuck on those seamounts, probably. So
right. So
which they say when it subducts, that's what happens. It gets caught up where there's seamounts.
Right. We're looking at Japan there. Moving on up. See, all these are the volcanoes in Kamchatka or Kurils. Right now, Chiki was erupting. Ebico's been erupting. Alid's been erupting. Here's where the earthquake, the farthest reach that I have now, but whatever this one is. Let me see if that's even remotely close. Copy. Put that in there. Look. Paste. Yeah, see, that's not even remotely close to the July 29th. So in the southern one is like way down here, the 6.2. So today's earthquake, which I'm going to put on here, was it's a 6. And there's the 6 that happened today. Saved a project. And I think that's 6.
Yeah, see, it looks like there's a bunch of seamounts off there, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what
little ones down here, you mean? Yeah. There is a ledge. Like this is 48 meters, right? And then it goes down to 2,700 meters. So this is the shelf, right? This is the trench, but this is the shelf. You follow that shelf along that edge, right? And it seems to be, if I'm not correct, I'll correct myself here. As soon as I put the data in on this one, it happened on the 9th. So put this information in. Wow, look at the difference in the moment tensor. Wow. On the 6.0. Okay. Yeah, what a difference a day makes. Anyway, let me check out the original big quake here. Here's the 8.8. Looking at the 8.8, and look at the difference in the difference in the moment tensor.
Yeah.
Huge difference, eh? So what kind of thing is that? Well, let me look, see if I have it. Quick, I do have it. Let me lower this one. See if I can share the screen with you. And share screen window right here. Share it. Go. Boy. Show on screen. All right. So you can see normal extension on the today's earthquake, and the other one, because it looks like a donut. The 8.8.
Yeah, it's the opposite way. So like northeast
Right.
to southwest.
Right, but that's where you have to know where the fault is, and that's okay. The other one is not, it's kind of a fill-in. So it's like a reverse thrust compressional component. And you can see going back to, oops, sorry. Going back to here. No, not to there. Here. Going back to here for you. You can see, I hope you can see it all. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
The one in the middle, the reverse thrust compression component, the fault system doesn't go northwest to southeast, right? It goes the opposite way. So just turn this thing on its ear, and you'll see that one is going below, the other is lifting up. That's what's happening there. The one on the inside of the plate, it shows it different. The 8.8 was different, and that 8.8 is is this one here, right? Yeah. There's the donut, normal extension, right? So this 6.6 is a result of the part of it sliding down, and this is a normal extension. It's kind of allowing it to slide down. You can see one going down and one going up. So it's a response to the reverse thrust compressional component of the one diving down underneath Kamchatka. So now as it spreads, right, extension, it's spreading, right? So that's why this is happening. And that's what the difference between these two faults are. One is two faults coming together with tension or resistance, and one is being pulled apart, and it's just normal thrust. It's not strike slip or a shear, but it's got a component to that, but it's more of the others, and it's not a trans extension where it's pulling apart so much, but a one, they got the hanging wall or whatever. I don't understand which one's the hanging wall. It depends on where it's going, but I just know that these are the two that being shown. So there you have it on that. And so on this map that we're doing here, the 6 clearly is a different type of earthquake than the 8.8 because it's on the Pacific plate responding to what happened over on the whatever's down below, right? So,
yeah. Well, when it has the thrusting component, that's when you get the tsunami.
That's unless the mega thrust,
yeah. Unless you have a big underwater landslide can make a tsunami.
Right. And it's interesting, the tectonic summary of the big quake. USGS has it, and I'll just go ahead and read this real quick here. July 29, 25, an 8.8 earthquake Petrovsk, Kamchatka, Russia occurred. A shallow reverse faulting at the location of this earthquake, a Pacific plate moving west-northwest. with respect to North American plate, about 80 millimeters a year. Note the North American plate extends westward beyond the North American continent. The earthquake's location and sense of motion is consistent with faulting on the subduction zone plate interface with Kural-Kamchatka arc. While commonly plotted as points on a map, earthquakes of this size are more appropriately described as slip over or large fault area. Reverse faulting events of this size of the July 29-25 earthquake are typically about 390 kilometers by 140 kilometers in size, length times width. Okay, 140. And they have 340, right?
Yeah.
So I have it clearly a whole lot different because I count the other earthquake as being part of the sequence, right? And I guess went to 6.2. I'm sure they're about 666 miles for those wackadoodles.
Yeah.
And on the width, we did have an earthquake out here on the island. So, and we had one out here, roughly 225 kilometers. So I got 225 kilometers, and I have 666 kilometers. So 666 and 225. These are all KMs. How do we determine what that is in miles, right? Well, it's probably easier if I just put this here and use the measuring thing and change the tools. Is it on tools? View. No, I don't know what the hell it is. I want to see it by. I want to see it by feet because I don't understand these other things. Well, it's not easy for me, so I'll just open it up. Open up deal hickey 666 divided by 1.6, about 416 miles. 225 divided by 1.6, 140. Okay, so 140, and I forget the other one. 400 and something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 416. So 400 miles by 140 miles. That's what I have as being a part of this rip. Looking at the latest earthquakes, we could actually go way up here and the 4.8. And I think that's what I used, 4.8. Yeah, 4.8 at the top. And then at the bottom, it's already down into Japan. But you can see the series of quakes that are happening here. We have it on 30 days, even if I just did the 7 days. All right. And dun, dun, dun. There's the 6.2 that I used. That happened on 8/3. And if I went down here, 6.3, 6, 6.2, 8.3. Yeah, see, that's the extent. So that's how I'm calling it. Yeah, we can go all the way to here because it's still quaking. We're not going to get that many more miles out of it. So it's really not a big freaking deal.
Yeah, so I found out what the name of the super volcano is.
Uh-oh.
Kamchatka, it's called Coral Lake, so it's named after the Coral Islands.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I went, "Hey,
And they say when it made the caldera, it was VEI 7.
yeah,
So that's pretty interesting.
4.6 happened on 8/9. 4.6 8/9/25 description.
Oh, it says the largest sockeye salmon stocks in Asia live in Coral Lake. Cool.
Oh, hey,
Fried
that
salmon.
sockeye is the best. Like king salmon, is
That's
the
pretty
best.
So the
So I'm gonna do
sockeye
another
salmon
measurement.
love that lake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super volcano.
720 kilometers. Oh, I guess I can do it this way. Doing miles. There we go. So 448 miles. So I'm 450 miles. That's how long this deal is. And this is the latest. There's a 5.2 right here that is still on the Kamchatka side or the North American plate there. But there is a smattering of earthquakes that are on the Pacific. The most southern portion is a 4.6 that happened on the 4th. God bless it. I got to fix this mouse, man. I went to the settings and tried to do it. Yeah, freaking bot. Gone. I booted you.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they say the ash from that big eruption where they found it covers 2 million square kilometers.
So where is it actually? What is it called?
Coral Lake. It's spelled just
Okay.
like the Coral Islands.
All right. Kurile.
Yeah, lake.
Lake.
And it'll show you where it is.
Oh, yeah. It's at the bottom there. All right. I wonder if it's got any. It doesn't have any rivers to the sea. How the hell? Well, I guess they just live inside there. All right.
Well, there must be some way how they get in there, or somebody put them in there.
Yeah, there's no river from the ocean.
I don't know, unless there is. You'd have to look up all the rivers there, probably.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the salmon would get in there. Somebody would have
there
to
is
transport
there
them
is a river here. Let me follow this river.
Because how they usually do, they go up the river to spawn, right? To
Yes, sir.
wherever they're going to.
Yeah, it looks like they can get to the ocean. Okay. And it would be on the westernmost side of Kamchatka. So they do a pretty darn good track. About a 20, 30 mile track to the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's the caldera. There is several volcanoes that are active around it, like this one right here, which is pretty recent.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. But nobody ever talks about it, so they just focus on the current volcanoes.
Right.
The big boys. Because VEI 7 is pretty serious.
Pretty serious. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this little volcano right there in Ilyansky, um, pretty serious too, because it's pretty fresh, and there it blew out the side as well,
Yeah.
much like what's happening on crash, Kalinin crash or whatever. The the other volcano that you started erupting since the 8.8. Um,
Yeah, Krananeshkov or whatever it's called.
yeah.
Not Kalashnikov. I almost said
No,
Kalashnikov.
Crash Innenkov.
Yeah, Kershenikov or
Right.
Kershenikov or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Krasheninnikov.
That would be funny though if there was a Kalashnikov. No.
Klizhnikov. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised they haven't named one that. That'd be funny.
Yeah, and it's a freaking tall mountain. I want to say it's the tallest on the peninsula, and pretty far out there. But what else? All right, so we kind of showed a little bit there. Um, I suppose we could find fires in that area as well. Um,
Yeah, just to see if there are any.
right, we can look those up. Um, volcanoes on Kamchatka, there is a list. You can find that on Wikipedia. I would have to go.
Back to the big firms Canada map. The
Right.
global one.
The global
See,
one, yeah.
just to see if
Um,
there's any fires over there, but I never looked.
yeah, I'm kind of peeved at myself for not keeping. Um,
Well, search like NASA firms global.
yeah. Um, I was look. I was looking for specific um, to the other one, but not going to firms here.
Because I don't know what Russia has for, or if they even have one.
Well, yeah, yeah. I can't find it right now. I'm just looking at it and I'm going, duh, which way did he go? Right there. It's a NASA product, so going to the world map, global fire map, and then we go over here. Yeah, you can see it doing its thing because the magma is coming down the face of it. Yeah, they're saying, "Oh, this thing's hot as hell." Yeah, this volcano hot as hell. It's popping to
Yeah.
40,000 feet, right? But I don't see much in Japan, not much in there. Look at all the heat that's in Myanmar, though, or is that Laos? No, it's the two ones that are at war with each other. Um, Laos,
Cambodia and Thailand.
yeah, Thailand. Thailand's got a lot of hot right up the gut. Also out there in China, way up, way up in the north in Siberia too. Couple hot spots out in the oceans. PNG's got some hots. Northern portion of Australia, real hot. And the islands got a little bit. Hawaii, of course, because it's erupting.
Well, I don't see too many fires around the Tintina Fault, but it's getting forced the last couple of days.
Right. I'd like to look at that too. So let's go back to daily. It's Canada that we're looking for.
Yeah, because you got to look on NRCan to see them.
Yeah, NRCan, yeah.
Because they're not showing up on USGS, and a few are showing up on EMSC, but
right.
Not much, because everybody's been talking about it up there ever since the article came out about that. Tintina Fault, they say, can make mid-sevens now.
Yeah.
So right after
if we're looking at this, and the newest quake in the Yukon is a 5.0 up in the Yukon. You'll see Prince Rupert right here. This is along the Fairweather Fault, or better known as the Queen Charlotte Fault. Depends on who wants to use the term. The quakes that he's talking about, I think, is through Dawson Creek. Am I right or no?
Yeah, all the ones up around there, coming down through.
Now, there are explosions happening, but a little bit of a swarm here, Dawson Creek, and then a little bit swarm down here at near Grand or whatever. All right, so you got a new article you want to see?
Yeah, that's the one talking about Tintina Fault. Now they figured out that it can make mid-sevens.
Threat behind the Yukon. Yeah. A long forgotten fault in Canada's territory has just revealed its dangerous potential. Scientists are using cutting-edge satellite and drone data discovered that the Tintina Fault, previously considered dormant, has produced multiple major earthquakes in the recent geological past and could do so again. These hidden fault lines, now identified near Dawson City, may be capable of triggering devastating earthquakes over a magnitude 7.5, posing a serious threat to communities' infrastructure and unstable landslides in the region. No kidding.
Yeah, and that's why the gold rush was there. To simplify, because that's where the Yukon gold rush was, Dawson City, and all that. Same place as where Tintina Fault is.
The Tintina Fault is approximately 1,000 kilometers long and trends northwestward across the entire territory. It has slipped laterally a total of 450 kilometers in its lifetime, but has previously believed to have been inactive for at least 40 million years. Well, we've been saying BS to that for a long time. Now scientists are catching up. However, using a high-resolution topographic data collected from satellites and airplanes and drones, researchers have identified 130-kilometer-long segment of the fault near Dawson Creek, where there is evidence of numerous large earthquakes and much more recent geologic past. The Quaternary period, 2.6 million years ago, to the present. I need oxygen. Indicating possible future quakes. Over the past couple of decades, there has been a few small quakes of magnitude 3 to 4 detected along the Tintina Fault, but nothing to suggest it's capable of larger ruptures, says Theron Finley, recent UVic PhD graduate and lead author of the current article.
And I bet they'll find the same thing when they do the Rocky Mountain Trench, too.
I agree. The West is still moving, and they said it stopped 40 million years ago. I'm not seeing it down here. And if it's not stopped down here, it surely can't stop from moving up there. It just, I think they move when they have big giant earthquakes, they move some 20, 30 feet and then stop. I mean, you'll see a rupture on the earth crust at the top, 20, 30 feet. And down below, it's ripping a hell of a lot further. And when it does that, um, I think I can draw a diagram of it here. Let me see if I can get you to see what I'm trying to say. All right. So open up a display capture. Okay. All right. What happened there? Automatic. Select the display. No, not that one. There you go. All right, have it over here. Now going back over here onto our show here. Share the screen, window right there, share. All right, so basically, I got to make sure you can see it now. Canuck. Share one stream. There we go. All right, so going, where the hell did I put it now? Help me find it. Right there. There it is. So you have the crust, right? And then you have down here, we have the moho. Okay. That's the division between the upper mantle and the crust. So this is kind of a transition zone, so to speak. Strata is a different kind of earth that has continued and then changed over time. It's not all just the same kind of rock formations. Looking at Grand Canyon, that will show you that these are different stratas. So what happens is on an earthquake, you can have the strata from this section here move while these don't, right? These will just quake. So this strata sliding, and sometimes you'll get some sliding, right, of multiple strata. But if the main earthquake was here, it'll rip along a certain way. Sometimes, and I think most of the time, it's ripping like this, right, or ripping at a downward angle, and that's because the strata is not straight over across where the earthquakes are happening. Sometimes they're in a subduction zone, and the subduction is coming down, right? So that strata is bent as well, right? And it depends. It's not just bent like this. It could be bent like this, right? So you'll get a quake down here, and here's the overriding plate. You'll get a quake down here, and the strata is going like this, and then you might get a push, and you might get some movement up here, So the overlying strata gets, because this has strata too, right? So pushing on certain areas. Our quakes could be centered here, but ends up rupturing over here. It won't rupture straight up from where the earthquake happened. In what I've seen, have you seen anything different than that, Canuck, or am I just not explaining it well enough?
Well, yeah, it ruptures where the overriding plate is, right?
Right. So here's the underplate. Here's the overriding plate, right? There's water associated with this that's going down, right? Because it's in the ocean, right? Here's the ocean, and then it's the stuff starts to melt, and then it turns into steam, and it breaks the rocks, and then turns into volcanoes, and that's how we get our volcanoes out here.
And then when it slips at the edge that's underwater, that's where you
Right.
get your water displacement, right, for a tsunami.
Right. Yeah. So this little lip, how it's bent downward like this, when it shoots back to go back up here, this is the area here. Let me just take and do a different color here.
Yeah. So
Orange.
so when it slips, that's when it does the water displacement
Right.
that makes a tsunami.
Right. This is what displaces the water, and then the tsunami is here and here.
Generated
So
offshore a ways,
right.
depending on how far the trench is off
Right.
the shoreline.
And that's that's the makings of this. But so we could have the earthquake down here, but it can trigger this portion to bounce back or respond. And so the ocean, where if I'm doing the same thing, right? The overriding plate, and then the subducting plate.
It like thrusts it up, and then it pushes it out.
Right. So this portion of the land actually kind of comes up and then comes down a little bit on the backside.
And that's why they're referring it, saying that Kamchatka moved 6 feet 7 inches to the southeast.
Correct.
So it went up and then out, slipped over the top of the Pacific plate.
So
even though the Pacific plate is moving too.
Right. So in the interior side, you'll get where this is the uplifted because of the pressure pushing it down, right? This dotted line is the same above sea level here. So when this breaks, right? So it'll break this way. And what happens is this will drop and the water will, instead of being right here, will end up back here somewhere. So this is like all this will drop down. Now that doesn't happen all the time. Other places it rises up. So
yeah, depending on if like in off Sumatra, right? Because you have those other islands that are off it, but they're still on the edge of the trench. So when it goes up or down, sometimes you get subsidence of islands or you get them rising up. Because if you read about the history of quakes in Indonesia, they say if you go back, they say there's people living on this island disappeared, and then another one popped up a little bit away from it. Now I put in the map for the Tintina fault thing, but you got to prove you're human.
I'm human, kind of.
That's right, funny. So right where the gold belt is in Alaska is between the Tintina fault and the Denali fault.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that freaking crazy? I didn't realize that Tintina went behind.
It goes the whole way across because it's like how the terrain smashed in there, right? So the Tintina Falls, a major boundary, just like Denali.
Right. So it goes all the way across Alaska and all the way through Yukon, and it continues. Isn't the Tintina the same as it's just the northern end of the Rocky Mountain one?
No, the Rocky Mountain one is farther in.
Oh, farther east. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the one that's in America that's the Tintina equivalent?
I can't remember the name of it. But it would come down.
We talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it comes down. It would probably run right into the intermountain seismic zone, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like if you followed it all the way down, that's probably where it goes.
Right. And one of the guys that Nick had shown, he says,
well, we know what it is because we watched all the Nick stuff, right? Where the average person would have no idea what the crap we're talking about.
Right. So this fault, reason it's not visible in some places is because how blind thrust faults happen is one plate gets pushed up on another and then it gets rolled over, and so the fault actually gets hidden where erosion and stuff comes in and hides the fault, and that's why they can't find a lot of these type things. And using the LRAD or what do they call that?
You have the
Where they,
LiDAR and everything
the
else,
lidar, yeah, dyslexic, sorry,
satellites and whatever else they're
yeah,
using.
and the lidar showing where these places are, and they're going, oh my, we only thought it was 50 miles, it's 300 miles. So that's also some places are more active than others, so they've discovered that basically in the article that Canuck just so graciously gave to us. Um,
Well,
but
everybody's been talking about here in Canada in the West, anyway.
yeah, yeah,
And especially just since the last few days, they've been getting fours up there and threes. So everybody's
right.
shitting their breath now. So they're saying, "Oh,
Hey, did your boys beat the dogs last night or no?
no, they lost 5-1.
Oh, and what about tonight?
I haven't played yet."
Haven't played yet. All right, so it's a
Well,
7 o'clock game. All right, yeah, because we play them. Your team Monday. No, Dodgers. We play the Dodgers
yeah,
Monday. So Monday and
yeah.
Tuesday, and then we'll see. We give them a good run for their money a lot of the time, so we'll see. That's
Yeah.
a huge
So when I
rivalry.
started looking at all this, I realized, well, I guess there would have been no gold rush in Alaska or Yukon.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't for these two faults, the
Yeah.
Denali and the Tintina. So
Well,
that's why.
in
It's
all
there.
in all truth, I look at it like God bless America. Um, I look at it like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up this map again and go up into Alaska and um, show what I see just through my observation. So I'm going to share that screen. Share screen, latest, boom, boom. Go back. Show on stream. All right. There. If I went to and I showed satellite, the Tintina fault is up here, and it goes right down the backside here, right,
Yeah.
all the way right out here into right to the border of Washington. Eh? There's another
So
one that goes along the
it's like
front.
basically where the coastal ranges are come down through.
Yeah,
So it's like,
on the backside of them. And what's very similar to that is the Walker Lane in the south, on the backside. Um, and there's another line of stuff that happens interior, um, and then there's this border right here, this line, red line, which is the Fairweather Fault or the Queen Charlotte Fault.
yeah.
So there's like 1, 2, 3, and then 4 major. You can see it right through here, right through
Because basically
Canada,
Fairweather and Queen Charlotte go right to the top of the
right
Explorer
up
plate,
here,
which is
right,
top of the JDF. That's how
yeah,
it works.
right through here. And also, there seems to be some break in quakes in this region that they don't go down further. So it's kind of odd. I've noticed as well is if they come in north of Seattle, they tend to go interior. If they come in south of Seattle, they go south. The quakes that break. So it's very interesting how these faults work, and then they say, "Oh no, they don't exist." Uh, you know, it's like, "Oh really? We're we're
They're not
watching
active,
them."
even though they had to be in order for
Yeah.
everything.
So you can see a bunch of them come right through here on this map. There's some coming right down the coast, right? Then there's some other ones that continue on out, into um, Montana there. Uh, where do you think these are coming from? Follow that up. Oh, well, shoot, howdy. Right up there. That's one fault. There's another fault that crisscrosses right out here north of Prince George. You can see it. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see it. However, the folds and the like, you know, it is
Because
what
I
it is.
haven't seen them do any new ones on the Rocky Mountain Trench yet. And they'll probably find out it's
Right.
the same Tintina.
Right.
It's just they so happen to do Tintina first. And this is all like brand new stuff, hot off the presses.
Right.
But it's not, to me, it's not really surprising.
No,
Really.
I mean,
It's
just watching 30 days of earthquakes, you can see, well, there's a reason they're breaking that way, right? They're not breaking over it here; they're breaking along this edge,
Yeah.
and then across into the park as well. And you know, in Idaho here, there's a reason, and then they come down to Wasatch, right? So
yeah. So probably the Intermountain Seismic Zone would probably go right up and go right into the Rocky Mountain Trench, I imagine, if you link them together.
right.
You
And
can't
then
see that on the map. But
and then if you're looking at the map here, you can say, well, across the U.S., I see a couple of things. I see from Texas into Indiana. I also see eastern Memphis or eastern Tennessee, right through New York, right through Boston, right through Maine, right into New Brunswick.
yeah.
But the Texas to Indiana goes right up through, you know, Detroit, Toronto, Ottawa, and up into Quebec.
Yeah.
And what's that lake called, or the river called? St. Lawrence. Well, that's a lineament.
And it
Right?
keeps going right through Newfoundland. Because I
It,
bet
it
if
goes
you
right
put
off
the
there on the
wires on
CO
here, I
and off the
bet you'd
coast.
see them lining up with all the quakes and the
Right.
fault.
And we do have another anomaly on here too in the last 30 days of 4.3. We had a 6 in that same area.
Now remember where that one is right there that you're talking about? Remember that line you mentioned that we saw earlier when we were talking earlier? That line that was going, that you said where it was? I can't remember now. But you noticed that it was making like a same line from Hawaii, so it would be going
Oh yeah.
east to southwest. I wonder if that lines up with Hawaii and that odd quake out there.
Yeah, I wonder.
Now you can't see it because there's too many quakes on there right now.
Let me go 30 days for. Nope, 30 days to.
Because
There you go.
I don't know how
a
many
little
days
less.
you were looking at when you saw
Yeah,
that line.
when I saw it at 30 days. We have Nevada. Then it's Cali, Merkleyville, right? And then Portola, which is Monterey, and then North Pacific Ocean, and then Hawaii. So this
Hawaii's
line,
go nuts, right? With eruptions.
Now, this thing they say is 10 kilometers in depth. It's only roughly 6 miles.
Yeah.
But why are 2 earthquakes out in the middle of nowhere, a couple hundred miles apart? And I've documented these. I find it very interesting. Also, we have in the last 30 days several quakes along the East Pacific Rise, the Chile Rise, some stronger quakes down here off the Pacific Antarctic Ridge, which is the EPR as well. And then on the Atlantic side, here's the Scotia Sea, here's Sandwich Islands, and then we got breaks out away. And then also Bouvet Island, just a couple of days ago had an earthquake. And then we have here Mid-Atlantics, happened
and we just had the
3 days ago.
Atlantic Ridge one today.
Right. Here's another one 5 days ago, or it's on the 2nd, so 7 days ago, right? And then this one happened 5 days ago. So this one, and then that one.
And we had Azores
couple here, couple here
last week.
Yep, a couple of Azores out here, 5.5, and then 5.2. These happen August 2nd and July 24th.
And I think it was the day after the Azores ones that New Jersey had its shaken.
Yeah. New York's had a couple of dingers. Boston had a dinger. So crazy, Here's 2.7 and a 3.0 in Jersey.
Yeah, I think it was like the day after or 2 days after the Azores quake.
8.5. So August 5th, and this one happened on August 2nd. So the 3.0 happened on the 2nd. The smaller one, 2.7, happened on the 5th. Also, Rick James up here, 4.6 happened 3 days ago. This one definitely is 7.11, 7.30.
And I think the Kansas quakes, I think, are on that same
7.25
west line.
And then these up here are 7.21. So the Kansas, it's a little bit south. It's not like directly straight across, but if you took the bend in the earth, the axis of the earth, it would be semi-straight. If it's 50 to 100 miles, maybe 200 miles on either side, depending on the wavelength, I wouldn't consider that too far off, actually. The central Kansas ones, more along that line, but this here, New York one, if you drew a line all the way across, would end up.
Kansas' biggest quake was the year before Hayward Fault.
Yeah.
Manhattan, Kansas had like a high 5 near 6 was 1867, and then 1868 was Hayward Fault.
Right. New Jersey would follow it across.
I'd have to look to see if Kansas was acting up in 89 before San Francisco got hit too.
Well, then you probably have to go.
If it was acting up in 88. I know Yellowstone was acting up in 88 with wildfires. Because it probably would have been like the year before. So you'd have to look probably for like 1988, 89 Kansas quakes.
Yeah, okay. The largest recorded in Kansas, a 5.1 Manhattan in 1867.
Yeah.
Not 1857, but 1867. Because my mind instantly went there. Wiki, W-I-K-I.
Yeah, because it's on the Humboldt Fault Zone, which turns into Nemaha Fault at
the Nemaha,
Oklahoma City, and goes to Dallas. And it's actually the Nemaha Uplift, or the Nemaha Ridge, they call it. And it goes basically from Dallas all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska. Probably farther than that, but that's how far they say it goes. It probably goes all the way up through Canada, too, I imagine.
There's Oklahoma. There's one in 2020, Milan City, Kansas. But they don't have any. They don't have a dead list through the United States. Most of these are going to be Arkansas,
yeah, they would,
1843.
They probably would be like smaller size quakes, so you'd have to find it.
Like the Tohono
quakes in Kansas in 1988 or 89. See what it would tell
me. Just Clemmer posting stuff. Which is my boy. We're okay. Everything else is okay. I'm looking at share this tab instead. This is a list of earthquakes in North America Larger ones, okay. Alaska is a 9.2 in 1585. Aleutian Islands. So megaquake, right? 1700, an 8.7 and 9.2 happened in the Cascades on January 1700. 1755, Massachusetts. The Cape Ann earthquake, which we've talked about many times, at 1755, November 18. 1788, Alaska, an 8.0. August 6th, 1788, Alaska, an 8.0. December 16, 1811, Missouri, 7.5 to 8. That's the New Madrid earthquakes. The following year, December 8th, 1812, California had a 6.9 to 7.5 in the San Juan Capistrano earthquake. A couple of days later, 4 days later, California went off again with a 7.1 to 7.5, a Ventura earthquake. June of 1823, Hawaii did a 7. 1838, California had a 6.8 to 7.2 on the San Andreas. They're not saying where. Oh, okay. 1838 is believed to be a rupture along the northern part of the San Andreas Fault. It affected approximately 100 kilometers of the fault from San Francisco Peninsula to Santa Cruz Mountains. It was a strong earthquake. Yeah. So that was very similar to the World Series earthquake. January 5th, 1843, Arkansas had a 6.3. January 9, 1857, California, Tajon, 7.9. Right? I'm very, very aware of that one because it happened 100 years later as well. Kansas did 1867, 10 years later, 5.1. April 2nd, Hawaii popped with 7.9 in 1868, April 2. October 21, 1868, California, the Hayward Fault, 6.3 to 6.7. February 20, 1871, Hawaii again, 6.8. The Lanai earthquake, 1871. Not too far later, a year later, in fact, March 26th, 1872, California had the Owens Valley earthquake, 7.4 to 7.9. That's believed to be actually out there as an 8. December 14th, 1872, Washington. The North Cascades earthquake, 6.5 to 7.0. And no, it wasn't a full rip. So that's interesting because it was Cascades. November 23 of 1873, California-Oregon border, 7.3. October 26, 1880, Alaska had a 7. August 10th, 1884, New York popped with a 4.9 to 5.5. August 31, 1886, Southern Carolina, South Carolina, 6.9 to 7.3. That's the Charleston earthquake. We've often talked about that one as well because it's interesting that they get earthquakes on the East Coast, right? April 19 of 1892, California with a 6.4, Vacaville earthquakes. 1821, 1892, California 6.4, Vacaville again. So there was like 2 earthquakes, eh? And a couple of days apart. October 31st of 1895, Missouri had a 6.6. 1895 Charleston earthquake. Why are they're doing that? It's the aftershock possibly. I don't know why. September 4th, 1899, Alaska did an 8.2. Yakut. September 10th, 6 days later, Alaska popped with another 8.2. Yakut. And then December 25th of 1899, 10 years later, no, the same year, California did 6.4. The San Jacinto earthquake, 6.4, 1899. October 9th, 1900, Alaska popped with a 7.9. November 14th of 1901, Utah had a 7. That's the Richfield earthquake, 1901. December 31st, 1901, Alaska popped with a 7.8. The following year, in January 1st, or the next day, it had another 7.8. And then August 27th of 1904, it had a 7.3. And then, of course, we get into the 1906 earthquakes. So, yeah, we don't really have to go much further. Just trying to give you a historical record that earthquakes happen across the United States and Canada. I don't have a list of Canadian quakes. Is there something like this on?
Yeah, they have it on NRCan.
NRCan?
Yeah.
Do you want to go through a few of those, or do you
Yeah,
think
well, you still got to. Yeah, you still got to go through the same place where you get the current quakes. You get the, which we may as well look at them anyway because it has the.
Oh, on
Yeah, on NRCan. Yeah.
On NRCan?
Yeah. Because they have a list of all the big ones in Canada too on there.
All right, so
I don't have the page, but I remember seeing it before.
Daily. I cannot just look for the darn. There we go. Da-da-da-da. All right, so historical quakes. Recent earthquakes, search the database. I guess we got to do the database then. Okay.
Yeah, I think it shows them all if you put in the
right
state range or whatever.
All right, I'm just going to do 1700. 1, 10, and then now do magnitude from 5 to 10. All right. Search. Didn't find any. I must have did something wrong.
I wonder if you have to put a magnitude range in or something.
Yeah, it says -5, or it says 5 to 10 depth from that. HTML, not induced, just quakes.
Oh, I see. It's got a boxed area thing. So it's kind of like the USGS one.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to do the whole thing, so.
Probably won't load if there's too many, though. So I don't know. It should
Loading
be able
events from our database. Hold on. It's coming up. Too many, 4,000. But we can see some of them.
Yeah, I don't know how is it given all magnitudes or?
It's given me 2,300 below 2, 2 and above 1,200, 3 and above 411, 4 and above 48, 5 and above 4. We know this is full of crap. But you can see where the quakes generally happen, and I think that is good to see. We see it through the St. Lawrence area, right through here. We also see it out here on the front side, which goes down the front side of the Appalachians. This goes along the back side of the Appalachians. Also, we see one series of faults moving in from looks like Kodiak inland. We move in a little bit. Okay, moving in inland and then continue up here, or this could be a breakthrough here as well. Then you see a outward through here, and this is the Juan de Fuca, of course, out here, out at the top of it, out here. But You can see a series of quakes moving through here. Also, most of them kind of come out this backside. Often we don't hear of these kind of quakes in uh, in in Canada because the U.S. just doesn't post them. So
Yeah,
it's
not big
hard to
enough.
follow that pressure. Yeah. Well, it's another country, and it's not a U.S. territory. Um, Obviously, they feel they are ouch, uh, too important um, for their time. There's very few people. Um, I find that disheartening, kind of. You can see in Washington, the Canadians tell us quite a bit about the quakes happening in Washington. You can see all of them here and then through here. Now, I don't know the date that it's showing us. These are up to date ones. I don't know how far back it goes.
You have to go through the list to find out what.
Yeah, it only goes back to 23, 24.
So it's only showing like a couple
It's
years.
2 years. 2 years is over 4,000. So I guess it solves what I was looking for to try to tell people um, just where the quakes are happening, and they're varied sizes. As you can see through here and then through here, um, you can see the Tentina right through here. Does it go into Edmonton or no? I think
No, that would
it goes
be
along the coast.
that would be the other side of the Rockies.
Right.
But there's a bunch of faults there. I just don't know what the names of that.
Yeah, there's an orientation northwest.
There's a bunch that
northeast
come
to
down
southwest.
the other side of the Rockies next.
Right. You can definitely see a line right through here. Fort St. John and towards Edmonton. And then as you can go further north, um, Watson Lake, right? And then another one breaks through. But look at these earthquakes. Ding, 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 right? That's from Fort McPherson, Look at these series of quakes. You can see a nice series of quakes coming this way too. A couple of different faults, and then these ones right through here. So,
Fort McPherson's on the Mackenzie River.
Yeah.
So it'd be along where the big river that comes down from the Arctic.
Right.
Down there.
Edmondson Gulf or whatever.
Alberta.
Yeah. Beaufort Sea coming through. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Because they just found more natural oil and gas in northern BC, northern Alberta there, up in the corner.
Right.
That's bigger than anywhere else on the planet. And one of the ways they want to get it out of there, they might be putting it up the Mackenzie River with a pipeline.
Is it shale or is it oil?
Shale, it's shale, but it's gigantic. Like they were already doing stuff there, but now they found out it's way bigger than what they thought.
Right, the deposits are way bigger, and that has to be from when that part of Canada came from elsewhere on the earth when it was warm.
Well, yeah, and it would have been all underwater there too.
Yeah, and how these oil deposits are made. I think it's quite interesting that the shale and that stuff and how it's in there.
Because now they want to build a new pipeline from northern Alberta through to Prince George to get all that stuff out of there. And of course, they have to approve it with Indigenous people and all that. So
give them money and they'll say, okay.
Yeah. But it probably won't happen until after the BC Premier is kicked out.
Yeah. But it's way, way, way up there. And
And they have a plan, which what I said they should have did years ago was to make another gigantic port at Churchill, Manitoba to ship stuff out. If Quebec doesn't let them build pipelines to the East Coast, which they probably won't, they'll have to run it all out through Churchill, Manitoba into Hudson Bay and bring all the tankers in and go out through the Northwest Passage and take it all to Europe.
Well, they can bring it through BC or out to the coast. I think they do that
there's already one pipeline that goes to Vancouver, but it's pretty much maxed out right
and
now.
But didn't they bring one up into Whitehorse too, or no?
No.
All right. I
They're
thought they did.
They're planning to put a big one up the Mackenzie River all the way to the Arctic, so they can send it out that way too.
All right.
So they're doing. There's one pipeline that goes to southern BC, Vancouver Island right now, but they want to do another one to Prince Rupert in the north. But basically, all the stuff that goes out of Vancouver or Prince Rupert basically goes to Asia or China. And the stuff, if they put it up the Mackenzie River, the Arctic, it can go either way, really. The Northwest Passage and all the stuff they want to build a big, massive port and pipeline to Churchill, and then it will go from Hudson Bay up over to Europe. Most likely.
Yeah.
So these are all the plans that are currently in the works now. Now, that's not including all the stuff that goes to the U.S., because the separate pipelines that go to the U.S.
Right. I think they've already signed the paperwork to reinstate the 3 pipelines. I think that's already done.
That all go to the States, to the Midwest refineries.
Right.
And then there's other pipelines that bring it back, like up into Ontario and Quebec. And all that stuff.
Alberta. Yeah.
So after it's all refined, then there's other pipelines that bring it back up. So it's crazy.
All right. So there's fires, there's oil, there's faults, there's earthquakes, there's movement along.
That's why the fires will burn, especially in the oil fields.
There's definitely movement happening around our planet, and Philippines had a 5-1 today as well. Just now, Lombok, Indonesia, over by the 2 volcanoes that are erupting, Little Toby and Little Tolo, Laki and the like. And there's also, this thing's over by, what? No way. This is another quake. Yeah.
When did that just happen?
Right. Yeah. It just happened, and I'm gonna look, because there's a volcano right there.
And then we just had the offshore Guatemala 6 and the big crack.
Yeah.
That's offshore Guatemala that points at Easter Island. There's a big crack fissure. You can see it on Google Earth.
Yeah, Mount Rinjani.
Rinjani.
Yeah, Tambora had a quake next to it as well. What is that, 6:30? So June 30th. Now we have another one, a dangerous one in this.
Rinjani can have big eruptions too.
Yes, sir. Somebody on the net was saying that it's erupting. 3 volcanoes in here is erupting, and I didn't find any evidence of it.
Yeah, I saw a video of it, and there was 3 puffs, but it was just like puff, and then it went away. So there's like 3 of them, because somebody showed the satellite picture, and you could see that they were all made like a puff at the same time. But I'm not sure they were big eruptions, but you could see like on the satellite that it. If they did, it wasn't for very long.
This is a 4.6. Yeah, 4.6. So,
Because I saw a video, but I don't remember which three volcanoes it was, but they were close together.
right. And Tambora was there, and they mentioned it, but the guy didn't. He said it wasn't erupting. You remember when Tambora erupted, right? So,
Yeah.
um, I think that was a VI7 as well, right?
Yeah, it's big. I think I can't remember. Maybe it was 8. I can't remember now.
Right.
1815, I think it was.
Hmm. We can look
I
that
think
up real quick. Yeah, Mount Tambora, 1815.
So 3 years after the new
VI7. Yeah. We don't know what led up to that thing exploding in 1815. How many earthquakes around? We just do not know. This stuff that we would.
Yeah, I looked it up before. I think there was stuff happening in Valley around that time. Either
Right.
that same year or the year after. I can't remember now.
Yeah, and Tambora 1815 is the year without a summer that took place. Also, the effects of that, cooling the earth, right? Um,
I'm pretty sure there was a big valley quake either that year or the year after. Or maybe it was the year before. I can't remember. You'd have to look up valley quakes.
sulfate concentrations 1810, 1815, 1820. That's interesting here. Share this tab instead. This is interesting. Look at the sulfates, booming out around 1810, 1817 or 16, and then 1820. So pretty crazy that Greenland would see these in the ice cores.
Yeah.
The global effects. When it erupted, 1 centimeter out here, 5 centimeters, 20, 25, and so forth. Pretty crazy. Simbawa, Lombok, or a couple of other volcanoes. Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a big quake that affected Valley the same year, 1815.
Oh, Bali? Okay.
Yeah, and they said it was also felt strongly on Lombok.
All right, let me see this. 1815 Bali quake. November 22, 1850 Bueling earthquake triggered a translational landslide transformed into a debris avalanche, evolving into 17-kilometer debris flow that reached the sea and causing a local tsunami.
Yeah, because I think it was just after Tambora blew up.
Field evidence of the greatest is that what?
Because I remember looking it up because I was trying to see what other stuff happened around that same time.
Field evidence, greater history, Biolog. November. What day did Tambora erupt? April. And this is November.
So same year.
Yeah.
Just a little bit later in the year. I can't remember. I looked up other ones, but I don't remember what the dates were. Because when I did it, I didn't check Gia. I remember I just looked like up quakes in like 1814, 1815, 1816.
Right.
That was before I even knew that there was the Gia site. So you'd probably find more, like if you went to the Gia site and looked at around that same time period.
Probably, yeah.
Different ones that were happening.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Share this tab instead. Okay. Museum down to 1815. Boy, this thing's moving too fast. I got to fix my roller.
Because I wish I would have known about that site before, because it makes it way easier now.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Stuff. Now, the farther you go back, it's
right.
harder
El
to find
Salvador
stuff.
popped in 1815. Pinglu, Shanghai, 1815. Indonesia, 1815, on November 22. And then 816 offshore Portugal. Well, that would be interesting. Hmm. Hmm. We're definitely on a rabbit hole tonight.
Yeah, so it's wild. All the stuff.
I'm trying to find Indonesia. What? 1122. Okay, it was off Bali. It's a 7.
Yeah, my list, the AI list was only going, Google AI was only going back to 1700s, I think.
Right. Well, this is 1815, November 22.
Further than that.
All right.
Now they're going on. I see people are talking about the hot blob again under the East Coast. Everybody's going on about that.
Well, there's yes, up to a 6.5 off the coast of Massachusetts in 1638.
Yeah, that one's the New Hampshire quake, 1638. Which is on the same fault line that if you trace it up through is the one that comes right by me. So what that, because it's at the foothills of the Appalachians, so it's one of the ones that lifted the Appalachians.
It's offshore by 100 miles.
Yeah, it's wrong on there. Because I read all the newest studies on it that just came out. So they have it in the wrong location on the GEA list. Because it's the June quake, New Hampshire quake. It's 1638.
Right.
And it was in whatever the name of the fault line is in New Hampshire, but it's the same one that comes up right by me. Because it has a different name in New Hampshire, a different name in Maine, and a different name in my province. Because that's what they do with them, even though it's all the same fault. So I know that fault line can at least do 6.5, so we should get a 6.5 here too, basically. Because we got a 5.8 in 82. It's kind of where the big fire is right now too, because that's where it goes. The fault line goes right up there through the Miramichi, comes right down by me because I'm actually on the Miramichi train where I live.
Mm-hmm.
The top of the Miramichi train is that fault line that comes down just above our town here. Used to go right by my aunt's house.
All right. Well.
And my cousin's house too on the other side of the river.
Well, back to our topic at hand here. As a result of the 8.8, what have you noticed that is changed in the world today? You know, a short couple of days after, really, from that big earthquake. What are you seeing?
Well, it seems to be acting up in 3 different spots now on the west coast. So up by Cantina Fault in the Yukon. And then California seems to be having a lot of little ones. And now Guatemala acted up again today. So if you think about it, that's all in North America. right? From top to bottom on the
Mm,
west coast.
right. Okay,
Because
I'm showing.
Guatemala is the bottom because it's the Caribbean North America plate boundary. California's kind of in the middle, and then Yukon's been acting up just in the last 2 or 3 days. So we're like how many days out now from the 8.8? Like a week out or
Yeah,
whatever.
something. Yeah, it was like last Monday, right?
Yeah. So we'll be like a week out.
All
By
right.
Monday.
So to dispel some stuff or maybe add to the fear of what's going on, we tried to reach out to people regarding the great fear in Southern Cal. Because once you hear an earthquake, oh yeah, we live in earthquake country, so it's gonna happen. This is the
But
current
it
list,
still may take 2 months before we get a big one.
right? Up to 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we look
probably
at 2 years,
2 months based upon what it did the other big ones.
right? So in looking at what we see right now, we see a fault system that's working through Corona, and I'm very upset that I can't use.
Because we know what happened with the big ones in 52 and all those ones we talked about.
Mm-hmm. They might just be updating that page. But the Corona fault, we talked about it last week. The Corona fault moving all the way into Laverne, or it's not Laverne, is it? Highland Park, and I think it was Laverne, right? Into the Cajon Junction here. This is northeast of Fontana, and then we got Fontana Greater, and then this is out in Chino on Mira Loma. This fault moves northeast, or it moves southwest. All right. This is the San Andreas that works through here. I can put on there U.S. faults, and you'll be able to see them if I zoom out a little bit. There you go. This is the San Jacinto fault system. This is the Elsinore fault system. Elsinore breaks off in Corona. It goes into Ontario, but then it kind of just splays and goes right downtown Los Angeles, breaks up through El Monte and Verdugo up into Simi Valley. And this one, this earthquake here in Chatsworth, is virtually the top of that fault where it meets was that the Sierra Madre? Sierra Madre fault that kind of goes out through Oxnard, does the front side of the Angeles forest there, or mountains, or the San Gabriel's. A lot of thrust faulting. That means one being pushed on another all the way up. This is the area of compressional. This is here is the San Gabriel fault zone that goes all the way around. This is the San Andreas up here, and this fault system is unique because of what's going on. We last September, a year ago, we started talking about these things. We talked about the Santa Ynez Mountains, Santa Barbara Mountains. We talked about the Malibu Mountains and the Malibu fires. You can see east-west fault systems that work all the way through here, and then, as you see out here as well through Lombok. We talked about all these faults. So go see us in September of last year on Rumble, as well as on YouTube. You'll be able to see all of those. So
yeah, and like we said earlier, the canyon fire out there is between Piru Fault, which is an offshoot of San Cayetano,
right
and San Gabriel. So it's burning like towards San Gabriel fault line and Castaic Lake.
It's right out here, right? In San Clarita Mountains are uh, Topa Tapa Mountains, up towards Fraser Park, which Fraser Park did have a 1.4 Gorman. And then up here, as the San Andreas continues um, through Chalom Valley, right here through Tabletop, right through Coalinga, you'll see a couple of earthquakes up here. Diablo Range. This is the volcano pinnacles that used to be down here, but because it's on the Pacific side of the San Andreas, it's on its own. It's on the Pacific plate. It's moving north, right? So all of these quakes are association of this major fault, which is the plate boundary, where it breaks straight down and through all the crust into the moho, which is, as I said before, is a transition zone from the um, excuse me, crust in the upper mantle, because it's where the plates all float on there, right? And that's why we have all these earthquakes, because plates are banging up against each other. So what's happening in the crust is normal things bouncing into each other. Now, there, like I said, on the strata, there's different kinds of rocks all the way down. I don't think there's one strata in the world that's all one same, but like it's easier to break shale than it is granite. So it's like things break at different rates. And there are things down there, cavities and water tables and faults, right? All that crisscross through the whole thing. So, but as it bangs up against that San Andreas, stress fractures have happened, and it's been happening a long, long time. About 50 million years, I think, is what I heard last, that the San Andreas was made. Why that's significant, I don't know. But this Mendocino up here, 40 million years ago, was right down here. So maybe the San Andreas is only 40 or 35 million years old. I don't know what it looked like when the Farallon plate was north, but so this, when we look on the map, I can't do that. But anyway, so
there's probably other big strike slip faults along the coast.
Yeah, you would think, right? Some big ones as it disappeared. It used to be subducted, right? So this is an area that's always busy. So saying, oh yeah, it's a result of the 8.8, I think that's pressing it too much. I don't see a whole lot of difference, to tell you the truth. There's a couple of quakes that are interesting in Los Angeles, but these are super small ones. If I took it and only went 1 day, 2.5s and above, you're going to see one out here. Morongo Valley had a 3. I expect Morongo Valley because that's where the last couple of 7s happened in Southern Cal, right? We had the Simi Valley, 6.7. We had the Whittier quake. I think that was only a 5.9, and the Other Valley quake that did so much damage in Van Nuys and I'm trying to find it for you.
Well, we know what happened with 52 when the 9 was in Kamchatka, because after that,
right,
you had everything from Garlock all the way north to Alaska, all just between 52 and 64.
Right, and remember right here, just a few weeks back, a couple of months back, we had a 5 sitting right here, the Tehachapi. Then we had a little 4 in Los Angeles. But this little quake here, and if we did a search like we did before, go look back again at the other rabbit holes, you'll have to glean through them because there's a lot of stuff that we're just researching out and looking at it.
So I
Um,
assume that we should get some bigger quake near Garlock within
hmm
2 months if it's following the same pattern as 52.
Yeah, because we can look up.
And then it's probably going to adjust up Alaska way, or maybe it will in the Yukon on Tintina Fault.
Man, I hate this thing.
We just got to wait and see.
Right. So in 1952, the Hatchapee, I think, was Central Cal right here, the 7.5 Kern.
Because in 59, it had an 8 plus in Kamchatka, and Lake Hebgen happened after that, which is the same thing. It's intermountain seismic zone. Probably if we looked like there was a big quake in Alaska in 58, Latuya Bay. That was in 1958. So that would have been the year before Lake Hebgen. So see, it's all making sense, right? If you start looking at it. It's like it's pinging back and forth across the Pacific, which makes sense because it's everything moving. And
yeah, it has to respond.
Slipping, yeah. So if the Pacific plate is slipping under AUKUS, North America plate, because now they call it both, which it used to be a debate, but now they pretty much conclude AUKUS plate as part of North America.
Mm-hmm.
Which would also be why Cascadia in 1700 and Nankai Trough across the way, 1707, why they would be related. And why Mount Fuji would have erupted after both big quakes. Because it's on the triple junction where AUKUS plate runs into Philippine Sea plate.
Yeah, you can see, Japan also went off really, really, really big. Here's Kamchatka, the 9 that happened in November.
And then you had the big quake in New Zealand in 1717. So that would be like 10 years after Nankai Trough.
Right.
And 17 years after Cascadia. So see, it's like it's all the Pacific plate, right?
So New Zealand down here, the Pacific plate here, the Pacific's got to respond to this.
Because the whole thing is like once it moves at 9, almost at one spot, all the other spots have to adjust all around the plate.
Adjust. Yep.
And that's what it's doing. And we've had 9 at 2011 Tohoku plate at the bottom of the AUKUS plate. Now we've had the 8.8 at the top.
Right.
And the 9s have all been on that side. So at some point we're going to get.
Right. And where do you normally see 9s or super large earthquakes? Now we can see it in the at just a few times that we've known in history, the 1700 quake of the Cascades. However, huge quakes we've had in Alaska, right? Up in that where everything runs into Alaska. In addition to that, huge quakes along the Mexican border, Central America, and Chile. I don't know if Peru has 8s as well. So there is no huge quakes in the middle there at Easter Island.
Well, Ecuador had 8.8. Ecuador, Colombia.
Has it? All right. So
1906, because that was before San Fran.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. So along the southern, along the western edge of South America goes super huge. Mexico does super huge. The only time California goes super huge, the biggest or 2 biggest earthquakes, one was San Francisco, and one is the Tejon Pass.
Yeah, so you still need like a big quake in South America to add into the mixture.
But in addition to that, we also need something across the middle part of the United States to push
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be very big. Like it could be a swarm of fours or maybe a five-ish. Because see, in 1737, there was the big quake near Philadelphia on the Ramapo Fault that they think was like as high as maybe a 5.8. And that would have been the same thing. It was about 8 weeks after Kamchatka had the 9.3. And what's interesting is we've had that same area all acting up, New Jersey, New York area.
Right.
Because that quake in 1737, they think it was on Ramapo Fault near Philadelphia, but they felt it all the way from Georgia all the way up to where I am, I think, because I think it said Maine on it.
And on the list right now, there's the Illinois earthquake 2.6.
And what was interesting when I looked up 1737, I found out the Lackey Fissure eruption in Iceland actually started in 1737. It was just small. So it took 50 years before it made the gigantic thing, 1783, 1784. And New Jersey had its biggest quake, 1783, about 6 months after Lackey Fissure eruption had been going. So once you get long duration eruptions in Iceland, especially, then you start getting bigger East Coast quakes, which we've kind of had that now. We had 4.6 in New Jersey last year, or whatever it was.
Which Mid-Atlantic hit today at 4.6.
Yeah.
So, and we consider that the Texas liniment.
Yeah, it's either Texas liniment or owl. I don't know.
I think the owl's a little bit. I think the owl's a little bit.
Because I remember the other quakes that we've had down there were a little bit below that.
Yeah.
Like in the last year. So this is up a little bit from where the other ones were. I don't know how far you'd have to go back to get them all on there. I think.
Well, the quake that happened today also happened. Let me see what the date is. Less than 30 days ago. Come on. Let me get it. There it is. 4.5 happened on July 19. But you'll see coming down that same line, we have over here Ascension Island had a 5.1. It had another one as well. You know, a 4.5, July 21, and the other one, the other one is both of them July 21.
2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Last month.
And the owl that he's talking about comes right up through here. There's a 3.3 Kansas, and you can follow that all the way through, and then here out here is Madagascar has a 4.6 because the Texas is a little bit lower than that, and it comes out down here.
Yeah, because I think Texas liniment goes through where La Soufriere is, so bottom of the Caribbean plate, and then I think
it's like the right through here.
Owl goes through like Puerto Rico. So pretty close to where we've had all the action there around.
Right. The owl has been super busy, and we've noted that. The Texas liniment super busy, as we noted that. Walker Lane, fantastically busy. And
in 1843, when the Arkansas quake happened, there was a big quake down in the Caribbean there too, just off Puerto Rico. 1843, right before Arkansas got hit.
Yeah, I think I personally think that the Caribbean has to go before New Madrid goes again.
Yeah,
but
so you're still going to have
or
to get,
they happen at the same time period anyway.
Yeah, a big quake down there, or
big quakes. Yeah, and well, that's interesting too. Looking at this, I see a interesting through Kansas and also through Texas, and then in Oklahoma, draw a circle right there. You know, that circle. I wonder if there's a plate down there, and we'd be seeing it only because of the earthquakes, but the earthquakes would be happening because of what's down below. And wow, you know, Farallon plate, I think, is somewhere in front of the Rockies, but the one before that,
I see they're all talking about the bubble under the East Coast again, but they've talked about that before, so bringing back the story. I see everybody talking about it again tonight because of all the
what is
earthquakes.
if GPS is showing that the elevation is changing in places, then I would see there's a bubble. But
well, it's also where the hotspot track is, where the New England hotspot track goes in and runs up through. So there probably is a bubble there, but this is not like anything new. Everybody thinks it's a new thing. Because if there was a hotspot track there, that would make sense. The New England seamounts come in and they go, if you follow it, it goes right on up through towards Hudson Bay. Because they found evidence.
What hotspot was that?
You have to look up New England seamounts, and then they trace it right on up. It goes right on up into Quebec-Ontario border. It basically lines up with the Western Quebec seismic zone. And when you go up there, you find out there's a whole bunch of calderas when you go up there. So I imagine they're all part of the same liniment line, which is another one that goes the opposite way coming from the New England seamount. So it would be northwest to southeast, going up to the big gigantic caldera that's on the border of northern Quebec and northern Ontario. Up there, there's a big caldera complex, they call it. What's the name of it? Blake River Mega Caldera Complex, because there's more than one caldera. So back years, well, I don't even know how many million they said, it all blew up there.
Right.
And that's where all the gold mines and everything are. It's diamond mines and all this stuff.
Right.
In there. And that's why it's there, because all that mega caldera complex, Blake River, I think they call it, Blake River Mega Caldera Complex is what they call it. So it's a whole bunch of calderas that all blew up there at one time.
Right. And some people think it was asteroids that made those.
Yeah, well, they say there's asteroid things up there too, but they also say it was calderas that blew through.
Right, blew through the ice.
Some of them say it may be connected to the hotspot that made the New England seamounts. So it just depends on which stuff you're reading.
Well, that's interesting too. So I haven't seen a lot in Chile acting up, except for in the armpit.
Yeah.
I'm doing 30 days at look at right now.
I think if Chile's going to have a big one, it's going to be like a 9 at Erica.
Right. At Erica.
And if you read the stuff in South America, they think that too.
Yeah. The last one was down in the south. Yeah, the last one was down here, but coming up here, it's got to adjust as well. So. And
they figured out that northern part from northern Chile into southern Peru can go 9.5 now.
Right. It has its own, what do you call it?
Right there when it makes the curve.
Yeah, it's got its own plate too.
Yeah, between Erica and Lima.
Yeah, the antiplano plate. Yeah. And you can see there are 2 spreading centers and then a compressional component and then one strike slip.
Because they found evidence that southern Peru there, it went 9.5 back. I don't know how long ago it was. That was back a couple of years ago. They figured that out. Because they figured out a tsunami came way in there and all the people moved way inland and the animals or something. So they found all this information about it. So they think that it went 9.5 there at one time, southern Peru, northern Chile.
Well, all right.
But Erica, Peru has had big ones numerous times if you study. Well, Erica, Chile it is now. But back when it had the big one in 1868, it was part of Peru. So they call it the Erica, Peru quake for 1868, which happened before Hayward Fault. So, quake in 1868, and you had Hawaii go 7.9, and both Kilauea and Mauna Loa erupted that same year. And that's still the biggest quake in Hawaii, that thing. know about.
Right. We talked about that one last rabbit hole. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to add to this? It's already 2 hours and 24 minutes into this one. We did pretty well. I'm liking this setup much better.
Yeah.
Although I'm super tired and I know I got to drive, 450 miles tomorrow.
Yeah.
As a reason for doing this one a little bit early, but
so I think California's in trouble. But it's going to take probably update.
It's going to take a little bit more stuff. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah. Which will be like September. Everybody loves September. Mexico loves it.
Yeah. What is it? The 9th of September for Mexico?
Yeah, or 19th.
19th. Yeah. Crazy how it happens on that day. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, brother.
Solstice too, right?
Yep.
Right
appreciate you and your mind and how you remember things and our discussions. I really do. It's fun for me. I look forward to the rabbit holes.
So we did Kamchatka to Tintina to South America today. So.
Yeah, we did. Well, we had a little stint in North America there. We didn't touch too much on Central America, but the Guatemalan 6, that's pretty strong. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where that pressure goes.
And it's right in the crack off the coast there too. Right on the crack, You can see it on Google Earth. That points at Easter Island, I think it is. So I don't even know what it's called. It's a fracture zone, but I don't know. Because I just thought it was funny because when I looked up the ones the other time, the other Guatemala quakes that were inland, it was still lining up with that fracture zone crack off the coast. And where the 6 happened today is right on that crack.
It's on that crack, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, all right then. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. And I'll be off a couple of days and then be back on Tuesday. Be chomping at the bit, tell you the truth. I'll have to do an evening report on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't know I think I'll have the channel up, but for those who don't know, we're live on twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Monday through Friday, we do a morning report at 8 a.m. Arizona time, and it'll go up till 10 o'clock, depending on the day. If it's a slow day, it goes pretty quick. And we'll have the same kind of anecdotal evidence and talk and discussion. Primarily, that'll just be me. And then on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we do this rabbit report, a rabbit hole, and we just dive into subjects much more than I can in the morning report. And then, of course, I have my boy Canuck, who's so gracious to share his memory with us. I appreciate him. And then we also, talk a little baseball, or stuff like that. But and then there will be hopefully starting this next week, a weekly wrap up at 5 o'clock on Fridays. There's hardly anybody there, but it's not a big deal. There's nobody there. I just screw it. But appreciate you all and bless you. And remember, don't get none on you. This is Joe. I'm signing off. Good night.